Welcome back for more church music. We're looking at the great worship song, Not Afraid by Jesus Culture. And I want to get us started with the right hand chord positions in a very simple fashion, one that won't cause you a lot of stress or grief. Here at the keyboard, you'll notice that we're going to go to the key of F. And the original key is F sharp, but I'm going to start it in the key of F. It's a little easier for most of our pianists to get started with that. So we're going to start with that key first. Okay, so right hand, you're going to come right to the middle C area of your keyboard. I'm going to place my second finger on middle C, my pointer finger. Thumb, you're going to go out to the A below and the F above with the fifth finger, the pinky there. So I'm choosing not to play it way up here. That's a little too high for where the vocals are going. If you play it down here, it gets a little bit too low. It sounds a bit muddled, especially when you add the rest of the band. So I'm going to play it right here in the middle. A, C, and F. That's my F chord. Going to the next chord in this progression, we have the D minor chord. All I need to do is change from the C second finger to the D third finger. The A and the F stay the same. D, F, and A, there it is. All right, and then we have one last chord in the verse, and that's the B flat chord. I'm going to keep the D and the F, slide my thumb here up to the B flat. You notice my whole hand slid forward, and there's B flat, D, F. That's it. That's the three chords that you need for the entire verse. Verse 1 and verse 2. Okay, so how does that fit with the lyrics? Let's put that into the timing here. Okay, so you'll strike the chord first, and then the singers will begin. I have this confidence because, here's the D minor chord, I've seen the faithfulness of God, the still inside the storm, the promise of the shore. Then it starts that progression again. F chord, trust the power of your word. Da, da, enough to seek your kingdom first, beyond the barren place, beyond the ocean waves. So you notice that the chords are moving very slowly. There's much more happening with the lyrics. They're moving and saying lots of words. The chords are not moving that fast. So the harmonic rhythm, the chord changing is not terribly fast. So that can be a very helpful thing to know if you're a little bit shy about those chord changes. Okay, so let's think about what can we add to the left hand. We've walked through several ideas in previous videos on this channel. So we've started, we had Waymaker, and we worked through that one using either a single note. We talked about using just one finger, the name of the chord. We've also talked about other ideas, maybe using the power chord, the intervals of a fifth, leaving out the middle note of the chord. And we've also talked about sometimes it is appropriate to use the octaves. So I'm going to add another step, another idea for this left hand toolkit. So left hand, we're going to put you here. So this is one octave below middle C and the F under that. So I'm putting the chord in root position in the left hand, and I'm simply going to just play each note of the chord one finger at a time, going from the bottom up through the top. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is use this as a way to keep the rhythm moving along. It can drag if the band isn't moving along with the beat and keeping those chord progressions crisp and clean. It can get a little bit draggy for the singers. So this way I feel energy in my left hand, but I'm not shouting that rhythm out. It's a very quiet verse as we get started here, a very worshipful, meditative idea of worship. So we don't want to grab a huge, loud, booming rhythm. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so let's put this in. I have this confidence because. So we're just moving 1, 2, 3, 4. Feels like a quarter note there. Right hand, you can come in on the half note. So chord, I have this together, together, left, together, left, together, left. Yeah, that'll be the idea. We go to the D chord here. Same idea. The B flat chord later. And that makes it nice and simple. So you'll notice on my D chord that I brought the left hand forward, higher on the piano. So that did mean that my thumbs were kind of battling, sharing that middle, the A right there, below the middle of the piano. So I just lifted my thumb on the right hand and let the left hand play that. So right hand, you just played the D and the F. I'm doing that purposely. If I go down for the D and avoid that A here. I get really low in the bass clef, and if you're playing with the band, that might not be the best idea. It kind of interferes with where the bass player is, so I just opted to move it forward in that case. Okay, so the last thing I want to say about playing these hands together, we are in that middle position of the keyboard, and it is a bit tricky to get a really nice hand position. And so I want to encourage you, church musicians, as you're playing, if the elbows are huddled towards the center of the body, it's very weak on the fifth fingers here. They kind of collapse and your wrists are kind of turned like this. So if you bring that elbow just a little bit out, and I'm not messing with the shoulders are totally relaxed here, but just bringing that elbow slightly away, you notice that my fifth finger is suddenly able to play very confidently. My wrist is nice and level, no strain at all, no pressure here. And you've got a nice fifth finger in the right hand as well. So I'll keep that as an encouragement there. Now, going on to the chorus, you ready for it? Good news. There's really not much new on the chords. We're gonna start with the F chord. When I walk through the waters, I won't be overcome. F chord, then it goes to the D flat chord, and you guessed it, it goes to the B flat chord. So it's that same progression again of 1, 6, 4. I'm going to keep it in that same position that I showed you. You can use that same fill pattern in the left hand. So here we go. When I walk through the waters, I won't be overcome. When I go through the rivers, I will not be drowned. My God will make a way, so I am not afraid. Okay, so it changes right there. I am not afraid. So we do from the B flat chord on My God Will Make a Way. And then I'm just going to go up, God will make a way, so I am not afraid. Just go right up to the C, E, G, one key higher there, and then you can walk back down to your F chord, A, C, F that we've been doing the whole time. So that line one more time, my God will make a way, B flat, D, F, so I am not afraid, and then there's your F chord. Okay, so left hand, what do we do with you? I'll keep going with the walking the broken chord here on the B flat. My God will make a way. And then so I am not afraid. I'm just gonna go right all together, blocked chords. I am not afraid. So I'm gonna leave out that broken chord when we get to the C. I'm just gonna opt to do a power chord. You could do the full chord if you wanted. I kind of like the sound of the power chord there in the left hand, and then my second finger is just going to play the single note. Yeah. So in that one line, I've added that new pattern we said about the left hand having its broken chord, one finger at a time, walking up and down. And then I added the power chord on the C, and then the F, I just played the single note. So we use several of those tools that we've talked about in other church songs and just kind of bringing them now into this song as well. So this toolkit that we're building carries forward into more than one of our songs, and I really am trying to encourage that and build those skills with you. Okay, now I want to move forward into the second verse. Okay, so we've had some fills, we've got all the chord positions. The second verse, there is some more things happening, so I want to go through that and how we can perform it. So let's go together. We're going to start exactly the same as what we had on that first verse. The second verse will start the same way. So here I go. You keep the promises you make. So here we go. Ready? And you keep the promises you make. And then it goes to that D chord. There isn't one that is delayed. Okay, so on that, I'm going to add a little something different. I'm a big fan of when we do something new lyrics, a different verse, even if the chord progression is the same, I try to do something a little different so it sounds interesting. So on this case, when we get to that D minor chord, I'm going to come into it, approach it a little bit different. So here's the F chord, you keep the promises you make. Right hand, I'm just going to break up these notes so that it's a broken chord. So I'm going to go, you keep the promises you make. So I'm just outlining these two outside voices, the F and the A. And I'm trying to land on that D minor. So you notice the A is the one constant between the F and the D minor chord. So I'm kind of using that as a repeating note, and then I'm walking from F, E, D. That's the name of the new chord. So F, A, E, A, and then you can go D, A. I added a little zigzag there. I went F, A, E, A, F, D. And so I kind of go back to that original because F is in the D minor chord there. So whichever version works for you. So putting that together with the hands, we won't do anything terribly difficult. Left hand. Okay, so here we go. You keep the promises you make. Left hand, I'm just going to walk down F, E, D, single note. So that way I can focus more on the busier right hand. Left hand, just walk it down. Okay? Putting it all together. You keep the promises you make. There isn't one that is delayed. Then just go back to that original position. Will not lose heart. Here I lift my arms. And then on that second line, I lift my arms. Right hand, you heard me, I did the fill there. I'm still in that B flat chord position. I just walk it up. And then there on the F, when I reach the F on that walk up, I just go to the full F chord. Okay, so one more time on that timing, will not lose heart. Here I lift my arms, 2, 3, E, 4. Yeah, so arms you hold for 2 beats. Here I lift my arms, 2, 3, and 4, and start to sing within the night. Okay, so at that part, many times the worship teams will split into the vocal parts, and you hear the soprano moves up on the pitch, and we get the full harmony. So it's a build. It feels more exciting. You've got more going on instead of just the unison, the single note there. So I reflect that in my playing as well. And this also encourages the drummer, the rhythm guitar, if you have one, that, hey, we're starting to do a build here. So me changing what I'm doing on the keyboard also, without words, signals to the band what I'm trying to do here. So left hand, I'm gonna do that rhythm pulse that we were talking about previously on the blessing, some of the other songs we did. So I wanna go back into that and start to sing. So let me go back actually to I will lift my arms, and then I'll add this. And then the right hand, I'm gonna change your rhythm so that you're more of a quarter note, you're more active instead of the half notes, the longer holds. You'll play every beat. And left hand, you'll do that power chord with the thumb bump, like that. Okay, so here's what it sounds like. Will not lose heart. Here I will lift my arms. Walk up and start to sing within the night. My praise will cause the sun to rise. Okay, so that gives you the idea. Left, da-da, left, thumb, left, thumb, left, thumb. Right hand, you stay on that beat. Okay, and then if you're feeling adventurous, you can do that walk down again from the F to D minor chord. So sing into the night. And then right back into that pattern. So if you're feeling like you're ready for that step, you can dovetail those two ideas, the new rhythm pattern and that walk down you did at the beginning of the verse. You can put those two together. If that seems a little too complicated, then just stay with the new rhythm pattern that I introduced on this third line. Okay, so take whatever option fits you best. No need to stress out. Nope, no need for that. Okay, and then on the my praise will cause the sun to rise. I'm also going to do a walk down. Just the left hand's going to walk down from the D minor to B flat. So D, C, B flat, like this. So, and start to sing into the night. We're going to D minor now. My praise will cause the sun to rise. Declare the battle won. So declare the battle. On battle, I move down to that C, and then 1, I hit the B flat. Okay, so my praise will cause the sun to rise. Declare the battle won. declare the battle won. And then back to that beat pattern. Declare that it is done. Okay, so we're adding lots of things on the second verse to give more of the build. Now, if you are going from there into the chorus, that's usually what we do. I like to also add in something at the end, a segue, if you will, into the chorus, because at this point, the chorus we're building, again, full parts are usually coming in at this point in the chorus. So if that's where you're headed, then on the chorus, we're going into that a little differently than we did from the first verse. The battle won, declare that it is done. So left hand, I'm going to pause on you for a minute. Right hand, you have that done, the B flat chord, B flat D F. You notice I'm just going to open up to the octave here. So declare the battle 1, 2. So I hit it for 2 beats, 1, 2, then open octave. And then I'm going to take my 5th finger, my pinky, and just walk it down. B flat, A, G, F. Just keep playing the thumb with it to make it sound a little fuller. And then I play the F again and move to that F position chord that we have been doing for a while now. Okay, so the battle 1, 2, declare that, oh, it's hard to sing it and play, hang on. So declare the battle 1, declare that it is done, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, so the timing for that octave will be on the word done. So the battle 1, declare that it is done, 2, octave. There it is. Okay, now left hand, we're going to put some power chords here for you. Again, to give a little bit more oomph, a little more power, as the title would suggest. Okay, so let's do the B flat with the F here, like that. Okay, so declare the battle 1, declare that it is done, 2, then play, 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 play. So every time I play a note in the right hand, left hand, you're going to add that same rhythm. So 1 or 3 and 4 and I walk through the waters, I won't be overcome. All right, once I reach that chord successfully, I'm going to go to that pattern that I started in the second verse. I'm going to keep that pattern where the left hand does the pinky, thumb, thumb, da, dee, dee, dum, bum, bum. I'm not going to go back to the original pattern where I was kind of half notes in the right hand and that walkout broken chord, because I've built the course now and I want it to be more rhythmically powerful. So that's how we will treat the chorus the second time around, and then from then on, as long as you're staying up to that louder volume. Okay, so that gives us so much to think about. We're growing in our skills. We're talking about a lot, so thanks for hanging in there with me. Let's go to the last portion of the song. We have finally the bridge, and I'm going to go back to those same chords, the F chord, the D minor chord, and the B flat. However, I'm going to use a different position. This is the only part of the song, but I will go to a different position here because we're definitely higher, and I want to reflect more of what the vocals are doing, and it also moving up on the keyboard is helping to encourage that build, that thrust forward with the bridge. So here we go. Right hand, you're going to be up here, C, F, and A, middle C with the thumb, 3rd finger, 5th finger, behind me, or before me, behind me, always beside me. Then just bring that thumb forward from C to D. We've got the D minor chord. No shadow, no valley where you won't find me. Keeping the D steady here, and the F will remain. We're going to open the hand a little bit and put the 2nd finger now moves to the F and sliding the pinky into the B flat. You notice that my whole hand skated towards the back of the piano here. I am not afraid. Now it goes from that B flat chord, not afraid, just to the regular position, root position of C. So before me, behind me, that line, C, F, A, then bring the thumb forward, D, F, A, then D, F, B flat, 1st finger, 2nd finger, pinky, sliding the hand forward, and then slide back out and over to the left for the C chord. That's the position there. Okay, so that'll get you into the right range, the pitch for the singers to hear their harmonies, and also helps with the build on that. Okay, so we're going to add a few ideas to continue forward besides just playing the chords. I would suggest that the left hand does the power chords for sure. Before me, behind me, always beside me, no shadow. Left hand, you can just pulsate there on those quarter notes, and right hand, you can try the half notes. No, I am not afraid. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, so I would probably do that maybe the initial time when you're coming into the bridge. You're not at the full height of the build, but you're definitely propelling forward with that left hand rhythm. So some other things you can do to add. I really like putting the melody in on that B flat chord, especially when I'm really emphasizing the lyrics. I am not afraid. You're already in this position, so just walk down. The D and the F can stay in position for a minute. Right hand, you're just going to walk down. I, B flat, A, G, F. And when you play the C chord, you hear that G. So the notes are B flat, A, G, F, G. Putting it together. B flat, A, G, F, G. Oh, it's great. So I'm using the chords position to help me create this melody line, and I don't have to move my hand out of position. So that's really well crafted, good thinking on the hand position part. So I really like using that to my advantage when I'm playing. Okay, and then when you're coming out to Afraid and you're going back into the bridge again, so we're repeating it back again, you can do this. I am not afraid. Hold that for 2 beats. You can pulse there. Afraid. Before me. Sorry, it says up there. So we'll do that walk C, D, E. And I'm doing it an octave between the hands. So left hand is on that C, right hand you're on middle C, and just walk up. So Afraid with 2 beats, afraid, 2, and then 2/8 quarter, 3 and 4, before me, behind me. That's how it would work. So once you get to that walk up, afraid, 3 and 4, and left hand, I would jump down so you can do your power chord. Before me, behind me, like that. Okay, so that's something on the end, that last line of the chorus, of the bridge, to give you some more push power, something different to do when you're repeating. And then lastly, I know we've been in this video for a while, thanks for hanging in there, there's so much to talk about. Last thing would be something you could work out with your band, but it's an idea that I like to use a lot. And it's a full rhythmic cut that I like to do. And the reason I like it on this part is because it really showcases the vocalist and the lyrics they're singing. The lyrics to me are so powerful. Well, all the way throughout the song, but especially on this bridge, you know, the message is no matter where I go, God, you're there. You're right beside me. I never have to worry whatever I'm going through. You're right there with me. And that is just a huge message in the song that I really want the listeners, our congregations to feel that and to take that home with them. So one of the ways I do that is a rhythmic cut here. So as we're playing along, we're coming to the end of the bridge. We're going to cycle back through. I am not afraid. Before me, behind me, always beside me, no shadow, no valley, where you won't find me, no, I am not afraid. Before me. Okay, so on that, I'm doing a cut. So the first 2 lines of the bridge, I do the same exact rhythm pattern. When I get to that 3rd line, no, I am not afraid, I come back on a steady quarter beat so that you feel whether we're propelling to the chorus or bridge again. I am not So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Always beside me, no, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so that's a really fun way to, if you feel the worship building, you feel the atmosphere just exploding, that's a great way to provide a build. And obviously you would have to work with the band so that they know where those cuts are and that they're right with you on it. But it can be very powerful. I've done this before in worship set. It can be super powerful. And again, the singers it makes the singers pop. And they really, those lyrics just, grab you by the heart. It's just so uplifting. Well, thank you for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to share these tutorials with you. So if you found it helpful, if you found it a builder for your ministry, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you can. I'm always dropping new videos, and I will see you at the next Gospel Chart.